low testosterone can literally ruin a man's life, okay? Because low testosterone is tied to a lot of different things. It's not just what people typically think about, like in the bedroom, although that can ruin a man's life, but it's also not having energy, guys. If you don't have energy, if you can't really thrive and conquer the way you want to, the reason that we're put on this earth to conquer, you know? And so, among other things, you just won't feel as confident and just vibrant and just glowing with confidence. You know what I mean? And so we're going to talk about how to fix this issue because when you are low in testosterone, you have low energy, your confidence is low, and it's really hard to lose fat and build muscle. Okay, and so this is a critical topic for men. Now, although I know I have some women that follow me also, if you have a husband and or a boyfriend and you notice that he feel like he lost his mojo a little bit, this is a video you're gonna want to watch him. You're gonna want to have him watch, okay? Because I'm gonna break down how you can fix this issue, and we're gonna talk about how to do it naturally, okay? No shame to people who go into TRT, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second as well. But there's certain things you want to have in order before you even explore those options, because there's tons of guys out here who are doing TRT and all these different peptides, and they're not seeing the type of results that they were hoping for because they don't have the right foundation. Whenever you build a house, see these buildings that are built, they're built on strong foundations, because if they're not, they would crumble. This is what's happening to a lot of people who take these different supplements and they're like, why isn't it working? They don't have the right foundation, guys, okay? And so we're gonna dive into it, okay? These are things I really don't see trainers talk about. I see most trainers just talk about weight loss. I see a lot of trainers talk about eat this, eat that, but they're not talking about how certain things like our hormones, which testosterone is a hormone, how it affects our life, okay? And so the first thing is this: low energy after you get done sleeping for 6, 7, 8 hours could definitely be a low testosterone issue, okay? It's very important that you get sleep consistently. Guys, I know we all high achievers, man. I know we out here getting to the bag, we high earners, but at the same time, if you are not sleeping consistently, it will ruin your testosterone. All right, it'll start depleting your testosterone. So it's very, very important that you're making sure you're sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I mean, even people have good genetics, y'all. Like a lot of people always ask me, well, is this person right here natural? Is this person right here natural? Some cases they might be, some cases they might not. But I've been in the coaching industry over 16 years now, and what I've realized is that genetics can only help you go so far, guys. Like I've seen guys, even people who jump on these game plan calls with me, about coaching, working with me. Some of these guys are like 40, 50 pounds overweight. And I'm like, dude, I can tell like just by your facial structure, because when you've been doing this as long as I have and played football and I ran track, I could just tell somebody who is just like genetically gifted. Like they just hit the lottery. But at the same time, if you're not doing things the right way, you don't have the right foundation to go with those genetics, you're still human. So this is how folks who have really good genetics. I went to high school and college with guys who were like speed demons on track, and like 4'3", 4'4" guys in college. Now they're like morbidly obese with type 2 diabetes. And so genetics can only get you so far, okay? And so we can't outwork our physiology. Part of our physiology is making sure that we're rested, making sure that you're sleeping, okay? This is critical. You can have two people, two high achievers. One high achiever is, I'll sleep when I die, all that. They burn out. The person who's grinding, but they have strategy, they have systems in place to fit their life and their goals, they're able to work at an optimal level on a daily basis. They're working at 100%, while the other person who's in just grind mode, working emotionally, is at 40, 50, 60% on a daily basis. Big difference, okay? And so make sure you're getting sleep. The second thing is this: I know in my content I say this a lot. You got to lose the big ass stomach, all right? Or in other scientific ways of saying it, you got to get rid of the visceral fat. The visceral fat is not just the fat that we see around our waistline, the belly, the love handles, the muffin top. It's the fat that wraps around our organs, okay? And it's a couple of things about this fat that makes it really dangerous, not just from a testosterone standpoint, because it will lower our testosterone, but it'll also increase estrogen, guys. That is not a good thing for men, okay? That's how you see guys start to develop man boobs, because their body's starting to produce a lot more estrogen. So they start to develop man boobs. No good, okay? And so losing the belly fat is gonna help you increase your testosterone, okay, naturally. Losing the belly fat is also gonna help you have more energy. It's gonna help with your overall health, okay? There's so many benefits from losing fingers, okay? But here's the thing. When you get rid of visceral fat, you're gonna feel more confident. You're gonna have more energy. You're even gonna look better in your clothes, your suits, and your birthday suit. You know what I'm talking about? When you butt naked, all right? And I don't know no guys that's complaining about having a flat stomach or some abs, okay? And so super important to get rid of that belly fat. And studies even show, guys, when you have that visceral fat like that, man, the three cousins, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, shoot, it's more than three, heart disease, and sleep apnea, they all run together, guys. They all run together. If you have a lot of visceral fat, those are these are like the four things I typically see that show up for people. Not even just men, but also women in terms of the visceral fat. But if you want to boost your testosterone, just drop your body fat, man. Like men need to be anywhere between 10 to 15% body fat year round. You can have two men. The men who are like 25, 30+% body fat. And I know a lot of people, they hear these, the BMI. And, oh, what the doctor said the BMI is this. Don't worry about BMI, because that doesn't take into account the muscle that we have. What's most important is the fat that we have on our body. And so the leaner you are, the healthier you're gonna be. And so I could go to the doctor and it could show that I have a BMI that I'm overweight because I have all this muscle. Your boy is jacked, you know? But at the same time, you can have somebody else who's 25, 30 BMI. He could be overweight or obese. Or she could be overweight or obese because they don't have any muscle. They just have all that fat. So it's very important to lower your body fat. Men, 10 to 15% body fat. Women, you want to be anywhere between like 19 to 23, all right? 19 to 23% body fat, all right? Now, if you want to be even leaner, go leaner, 17, 18. But these are just like sustainable body fat ranges that you want to be in. It's not like you're gonna have to suffer like a bodybuilder. You don't have to live like a bodybuilder to sustain these levels of body fat, okay? Because you see one of my trophies right here. I did bodybuilding a couple of years ago, and I know that life all too well. And you don't have to live in the gym 2-3 hours a day to accomplish those type of results, all right? I do see a couple of y'all commenting down below. I'm gonna answer y'all's questions as soon as I finish up with the content. I just don't want to break up the content. Don't want to break up the value for like the people who are watching the replays. And so I'll answer y'all's questions at the end. But good questions. I'll get to it. Third thing, you can fix your testosterone naturally before you start exploring TRT. Like it's human nature that once we get to about 35, 40, with your boys in that 35 club now. Shouts out to my Leos. August 14th over here. But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with doing TRT if you're at that age. However, like I mentioned earlier, if you're just gonna be taking TRT but slamming burgers and french fries every day, pizza, eating fast food all day every day, dude, you go be looking fluffy and chubby. Because it's like Testosterone just enhances what's working or what's not working. So if what you're doing is not working already, it's gonna enhance it. So you're gonna get bigger. Like if you think your stomach big now, it's gonna get bigger. What they call like the steroid gut, and steroids can get like this negative connotation, but steroids is just testosterone. That's all it is. The reason that it's gotten a bad rap is because there's a lot of people who do it under the table and they abuse it. That's why it gets a bad rap. But there's tons of successful people out here. Like even The Rock. Y'all think The Rock is no is The Rock is not natural. What's old boy name? Michael B. Jordan was not natural when he did that show, that movie, Creed. I don't even believe what's the guy's name who played in he's with Megan Good now. I can't remember his name. He's a really good actor though. But I don't even believe he was natural when he did those two movies, you know? And you can do these things, but with professional supervision, guys. Don't just go to the gym and see one of the bro heads in there that's been doing bodybuilding for years and get it from him. No, you want to get a professional who understands these things inside and out, who understands how to help you get blood work done so you can understand how much of it you actually need and if you actually need it at all. Because in some cases, I talk to a lot of guys, they think they need to go that route with TRT, but they're eating junk food every day, barely sleeping, drinking simply lemonades and sodas all the time. It's just not gonna work. You don't have a strong foundation. And so taking the TRT and the peptides, is not gonna be useful. But if you want it to be useful and you wanna like have that edge, you gotta make sure you're eating properly. Get your nutrition on point, okay? The second thing you wanna do, get your sleeping and wellness routines on point. Wellness being sleep, hydrating. If you're dehydrated all the time, skipping meals, guys, this can tank your testosterone because you're like going into this starvation mode thinking that you're fasting. Unless you have a professional showing you how to fast, guys, you're starving yourself. You are depriving yourself of essential nutrients, calling it a fast. Not realizing you're not getting enough protein in on a daily basis. You're not getting enough healthy fats in on a daily basis. You're not getting enough fiber on a daily basis. Like, just think to yourself, like, do you feel tired in the middle of the day at times? Do you feel exhausted at the end of the day? Like physically, mentally exhausted? Like, guys, this is not a good thing. Are you waking up in the morning and you got 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, but you're still tired and depleted? Low test. And also, lifestyle. You got to improve your lifestyle, guys. Okay? And then the last thing is this. You don't have to spend hours in the gym like a bodybuilder. You don't have to spend hours in the gym like a bodybuilder, guys. There's a lot of people who think, to be able to build their testosterone and, build a body that they want, they got to spend hours in the gym. You don't have to do that. Over here, we do something called the MED training system. That stands for minimum effective dose training system. What is the minimum you need to do to get the most effective results, the best results? And what I found for most of my clients is 3 to 4 days a week. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. You don't have to spend 2-3 hours, 45 minutes to an hour. If you got a little bit more time, you want to be in the gym because your gym is your safe place, do an hour and a half if you want to, but you don't have to. Minimum effective dose, okay? You don't have to do hours of cardio. You need to be lifting. Upper body workouts, lower body workouts, full body workouts, hitting that core, making sure you're doing some cardio in there too. That way you can make sure your energy is good, your heart health is good. That's what cardio is really for. Most people think cardio is for like fat loss. Cardio is for wellness and energy. Like if you're tired, you have brain fog in the middle of the day from working, go for a 10, 15-minute walk or 20-minute walk. Watch how you feel better after you finish. That's what cardio is for. You don't have to do these crazy, intense, like super hit cardio routines. You don't have to do that. It's not bad, but you don't have to do that to get the results you want. Okay? And so these are a couple of things you could do to boost your testosterone naturally. And I know a lot of these guys, a lot of the guys who are rocking with me, you're starting to get up in age, 35, 40, 50, and some of y'all in y'all 60s. Um, if you do get on TRT, like I said earlier, make sure you have the foundation in place. Proper sleep, you're hydrating, you're eating proteins, you're like prioritizing these things. Like most people just prioritize like calories or I'm just gonna eat healthy. High performers, people who are successful, they prioritize quality, meaning quality protein, quality healthy fats, quality fiber. When you prioritize these things, guys, I'm telling you, and even like eating whole foods, not just processed foods, it all makes a significant difference because we eat on a daily basis. And if you're like constantly eating a lot of processed food every single day, you're gonna find yourself feeling tired, burned out, low testosterone, low libido, low drive, big stomach. That's what happens. But the people who I see are intentional with their habits, they get the best results. The people who just say, oh man, I'm really busy, and they're not intentional with these habits, it gets worse over time. It doesn't just hit them all in one day, it just gets worse over time. And then they have this like, oh my God, I gotta do something, man. I can't keep living like this. But if you're intentional with these habits now, you're able to build a strong foundation for later. And so later, if you do decide to explore TRT, dude, you gonna be a superhuman. Straight up. you gonna feel like you back in your late teens because TRT could give you that type of feels. All right. But anyway, hopefully y'all found this helpful. If y'all have questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Let's see. Somebody says, "Lost on Israel and the Samsung option." I'm not sure what that is, man. I took trend and now I am attracted to labor. Man, y'all be trolling in my comments. Y'all are off the chain. YouTube is something else, man. Since I started going live on YouTube, I get some of the craziest comments. But hopefully soon, you know, as my following continues to grow, I'll get better people on my on my lives. Cause some of y'all be off the chain. But anyway, if you would like help from me, where I structure out a plan that's tailored to support your lifestyle, your goals, your fitness level, your demanding career. That way you can shrink your waistline, boost your testosterone, look and feel your best, have a body that makes a statement when you walk into the boardroom and in conferences. You know, you have that sense of like silent confidence. You know, you don't even have to say too much because you already know people know what's up. If you're ready for that, I'll drop a link down in the description below. All right, let's get it. Peace.